Hi everyone, my name is Arjun. Along with Gurjab, Shiv, Sajjan and Ian, we are Inti. And today we will be presenting Astrea. Our goal is to bring light to those in the darkness, which is why our company is named Inti after the Incan sun god. Our product name Astrea comes from Greek mythology, where Astrea is to bring the golden age to Earth. Right now, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine your daily lives with access to only these four senses. Imagine how you got here, or how you will get home. Imagine the fear of walking out onto the street. You may open your eyes. This shows how vision is the key sense in our daily experiences. Now let's take a look at some of the daily difficulties for a visually impaired person. In this video, Yusuf has a few problems. He has to walk at a very slow and cautious rate. He also explains the difficulty with objects that have a narrow base and a wide top. Discovering a new object means he has to stop and change course completely. Through personal interviews with visually impaired people, we were able to learn about these key day-to-day difficulties. Could a guide dog be a solution for this? Because for the past 100 years, a guide dog has been the only choice for a sophisticated companion. But the average price to train a guide dog is around $40,000. This means that an organization with a $1 million program budget could provide 25 people with guide dogs. This limited supply is the reason for waiting lists reaching almost 6 years in length. If these organizations went with Astrea, they would be able to reach 2,000 people. That's 80 people for every single guide dog with no delay. Here's Astrea. Technology cannot cure visual impairments, but it can become a substitute for sight. Astrea gives visually impaired people a newfound sense of their environment through the ecosystem of the Astrea glasses and smart handle. These users can interact with their surroundings and add a whole new dimension to their lives. The Astrea glasses use dual ultrasonic sensors to virtually recreate the user's surroundings. This technology will be developed in-house, while other aspects of Astrea, such as the front-facing camera, bone conduction earpiece, and even voice command system have already been developed. Here's the smart handle. It applies pressure to the user's palm at specific locations that are relative to where an obstacle is. This is done using piezoelectric motors that are extremely small and perfect for this application. The smart handle attaches to any regular guide cane. This allows versatility for the user. This video is a great demonstration of our object recognition technology. Through the front-facing camera, Astrea can instantly tell the user what an object is. It can also read text for the function of identifying street signs, distinguishing paper bills, and other sight-intensive functions. This is communicated through the bone conduction earpiece that does not cover the ear, so it allows in all outside sound. Our early warning system can be imagined as a grid of the user's environment. As the environment is virtually recreated and an obstacle is detected, it is placed somewhere on this grid. This information is then sent to the smart handle, where an outwards pressure is applied to a location that's relative to where the obstacle is. This makes the user aware of all obstacles. Now I'm going to hand it over to Gurjap, and he'll take you through our market.
All right, thanks a lot, Arjun. There are 21.2 million blind people in the US, 1.1 million in Canada. Canada's vision loss is expected to affect 50,000 new people each year. And did you know, 53% of the visually impaired population is unemployed, or make an average of $20,000 a year? So obviously purchasing a guide dog is not an option, and a 6-year waiting list is just way too long and inconvenient. Most visually impaired people live independently, but are forced to live a limited lifestyle. However, difficulty arrives when they leave their homes. Currently, there isn't a single method of sight substitution available for them. Astrea allowed us to create a product designed and tailored for the distinct needs of the visually impaired. Now we'll be talking about some of the products that are currently available for the visually impaired. Hey Shiv, did you know the long cane is down to a navigation for the visually impaired? It's easy to use as well as it's cheap.
Yeah, that's true, but its functionality is simply limited to within the user's reach, whereas Astrea recreates the user's surroundings.
Okay, what about a guide dog? It provides a sophisticated navigational ability.
Yeah, well, a guide dog will cost you $40,000, and with Astrea, you're only paying $500. As well as that, there's no cost or time required of taking care of a pet. As well as that, there's no 6-year waiting list.
Okay, well what about the other products in the market like the Ultra Cane and eyeglasses? They both have front-facing sensors to detect objects. What do you have to say about those two?
They only tell you about the single direction in which the object faces, whereas Astrea recreates your peripheral surroundings. As well as that, the Ultra Cane costs $1,200, and the eyeglasses put a vibrating motor on your face. What else?
Well, there is the iMusic app. It's an app that recognizes an object and plays a musical tone to the user. It's even free.
All right, let's move on. Isn't that the thing where you have to get each little part and build it together yourself? The thing with these products is that they rely solely on direct sales and inflated margins, whereas Astrea focuses on distributing through organizations. The truth is that the market space is open for Astrea to become the dominant navigational tool for the visually impaired. We are affordable, accessible, truly high-tech, and based around user experience. Now I'll be taking you through our methods of distribution and e-commerce. Our primary method of distribution is going to be through organizations for the visually impaired. Here is the Inti website. Through this website, users will be able to make direct purchases and learn more about our product. This site will be optimized for the visually impaired using screen readers. Over the next 5 years, Astrea will be going through 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 of research and development is when we will continue to develop, refine, and test our prototype here in Vancouver. In Phase 2, we will be distributing 300 test units for validation from potential customers in the strategically located cities of Charlotte, Kalamazoo, New York City, Los Angeles, and of course, Vancouver. In Phase 3, during our first year of sales, we plan to distribute 13,600 units to the main organizations across North America. At the same time, we will be launching our globally accessible e-commerce website. Astrea will be produced in China by a contracted manufacturer such as Foxconn, and all warehousing and shipping logistics will be managed and provided by a third-party logistics distributor. In Phase 4, we plan to distribute 27,200 units to all of the main organizations across the globe. This will help us tap into the expanded worldwide customer base that is almost 10 times greater than that of North America alone. In year 4 and year 5, we will see rapid growth in the number of organizations through which Astrea is available in, allowing accessibility of our product to exponentially increase. Now I'll be handing it over to Sajan, who will walk you through our financials.
Thanks, Shiv. So the total cost to produce Astrea is $206.21. An additional $5 per unit is added by a third-party logistics distributor, whilst our contract manufacturer adds another $8. We are planning to sell Astrea at $500, which leaves us with a gross profit of $280.79. Inti will require a $350,000 Phase 1 investment. This covers expenses through initial R&D as well as creating a basic prototype. In Phase 2, Inti will require a $250,000 investment. This covers the production and testing costs of 300 beta units. In Phase 3 of ramped-up production in preparation for the official launch, Inti will require a $900,000 investment. In Phase 4, Inti will become cash flow positive and will be able to become self-sustainable in production costs and other expenses. We will now be able to put our own profits towards further expanding the company as well as providing investors with a return. Our sales projection in year 2 comes from joining 10% of the annual budget of 3 organizations for the visually impaired in North America. This is a fairly conservative estimate as it only takes into account 3 of the many organizations that are in North America. Our sales projection in years 3, 4, and 5 increase as Astrea is able to tap into the worldwide customer base that is up to 10 times larger than North America alone. We have brought our idea of Astrea to industry experts who have helped us with our business plan and have given us great feedback. Gizmag.com, one of the leading technology news websites, has stated their interest in Astrea being featured as a news story after it is further developed. We have also had help from Roger Hardy, who is the CEO of the world's largest online eyeglass distributor. He has helped us with our marketing and e-commerce strategies. Australia was designed and developed through consultation with the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, as well as personal interviews with visually impaired individuals. They have helped us pinpoint specific daily difficulties that they go through in order for us to address them. The feedback they have given us has been truly amazing while designing this product. The team here at Australia dedicate themselves to the company and channel their passion into Australia. Over the past 6 months, the 5 partners, along with their advisors, have begun to bring a revolutionary idea to life. With only the money in our pockets, we have developed a basic prototype which demonstrates our ultrasonic and wireless communication technology. The ultrasonic sensor is able to accurately measure the distance in centimeters, and that is then wirelessly transmitted to the smartphone. This is the first stage in our research and development process, and we will continue along this to create an even better prototype in the future. Australia is an innovative device that is able to substitute sight unlike anyone else, allowing users to gain a newfound sense of their environment. Organizations love Australia because of the cost savings and distribution capabilities. People love Australia because of the accessibility and functionality. With the Inti team's passion for innovation and with your support, we can bring Australia to the market as a game-changing tool it was intended to be and allow visually impaired users to see the world differently. Together, we can bring light to those in the darkness. Thank you.
I'll kick off. Great idea. Just a two-part question. How many people have actually tried this, and what are the most difficult parts of feedback that you got from those trials?
This product, we haven't actually tested the prototype with people, but what we've done with people is gotten interviews from them to learn of their daily difficulties, and then used our passion for technology to figure out solutions that could apply to them. But this actual prototype hasn't been tested in real world situations.
This is an amazing idea.
Thank you.
And so, you know, the glass and the smart cane, they look pretty cool, and I'm sure they will work. So how are you able to sell this thing for $500 when Google Glasses is for $1,500? This seems smarter than Google Glass.
Well, through a detailed marginal analysis, using components that would be necessary to make this, and getting prices that have been the industry standard towards other companies for these components, we came to a cost that was just over $200. With this, our profit margin is still at 59%. With Google Glass, right now they're in their beta testing stage, so each unit is at $1,500. It doesn't actually cost that much to make it, but it's at an inflated price due to the low supply.
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, your business model is focused on global distribution, which obviously, blindness is a global phenomenon. And you've thought through the different phases, but very important aspect of that, of distributing this thing globally is, one is obviously the language barrier.
Of course.
And the second thing is literacy.
Yeah.
Most of the world where the blindness, especially in the developing countries, people are not literate. Do you see this thing to a solution only for the rich? How will poor people benefit from this technology?
Yeah. So Australia's user interface does not require actual reading of anything. It's with a voice command system. So with software upgrades in the future, it'll be compatible with worldwide languages. So they could speak with it and command it. And with the simple controls, it doesn't take much to learn how to use it.
Following up on Tarek's question, what does it take for a user to actually get used to it and be comfortable working with it on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Does it require training, or do they adapt to it quickly?
Yeah. So they'll usually get this product through an organization for the visually impaired that they are affiliated with. And what we have allocated in our financial plan is customer service representatives who will go to these organizations and train representatives from them, who then, when they distribute the product, they can then train individuals on how to use it.
But how long does it take for an individual to actually get used to it?
Not very long, a few days. The user interface is very minimalistic.
So I understand you still have to do the user testing and the trials.
Mhm.
What do you think is going to be the biggest hurdle that you will have to cross?
I think the biggest hurdle for us is taking the time to perfect the user interface in a way that it's really compatible for everyone's needs, because this is a product that we hope can fix or can help everyone's visual impairments. So we want it to work for as many people as possible, and refining that user interface, I believe, will be a challenge.
So by user interface, I understand the smart handle. So the feedback is entirely through the palm of the individual's hand.
Yeah.
So is there a whole medical component to this? Like you're getting medical specialists who are going to then want to opine on this and introduce requirements or complications? No. Or is this totally agnostic of any medical factors?
As a technological assistance device, it doesn't require regulatory approval. And your question on the smart handle as well, here you can see there's motors in the handle that apply an outward pressure, so you can feel it on your palm as you're holding it.
How do you plan to protect your intellectual properties as you develop over the couple of years or whatever the time takes?
So we have allocated a budget as well to applying patents for ultrasonic early warning system technology. The other components of Astrea that we're actually buying from other companies come with the licensing fee in them, as you saw in our marginal analysis. So we're getting that from them. Yeah, exactly. So we've allocated just over $20,000 towards patents.
That sounds pretty low. So just a couple of ideas that come in terms of also from, I don't know if you looked into the gaming industry, because that's the whole user experience in terms of space. And the other, which has basically become very, very, very pervasive in our lives, is all this kind of a, technology in cars.
Yeah.
Most of the cars are now can sense what's around them, and so
exactly.
on. Just other comment on the commercial model. 500 sounds too low, given the value that it is actually delivering, and also most of these devices will be reimbursed by government.
Exactly.
So you can actually charge a lot more than this.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. What we're actually looking for this product is to get as many out there as possible. So actually going to these organizations and giving them a price where they can distribute as many as possible, they can get the word out there. And we can just share the knowledge of this tool that could help so many more people. Thank you.
So I want to go back to something that Jesse started talking about, was your financials. So please remind me, well, how much was the money you had allocated for the trials?
Oh, sorry.
That was your first round, right?
Yes, it was $350,000 phase 1 investment. That involves research and developing initially, as well as initial research and development. And then phase 2 involves the $250,000, which is the manufacturing of 300 units for beta testing.
So you think 350 is going to be enough for running, well, 350 plus 250, and then you then you are ready for trials, correct?
Yes.
So year 3, and then how much money is being allocated over there?
For phase 3 is $900,000 investment for ramped up manufacturing.
The trials are year 1 and 2.
The trials are during year 1, which is that.
Year 1 you're taking 250.
So phase 1 and 2 are both research and development phases within year 1.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is the development of the prototype, and then phase 2 is the testing in the real world.
Do you really think that's going to be enough?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think the idea is great. Some of these things, if they're truly life-changing, they end up becoming very complicated. So it would be good for you to gear up for complications, questions, feedback, all of that stuff, which is why some of the comments are you sure for this amount of money you can do this? But if you pull this off and get this whole 3-dimensional image transferred into a person's palm, and the person has greater sensitivity, I mean, that's fantastic. But I think you need to work on how that's actually going to be proven and people are going to take this on. I think working through the organization is a great idea.
Yeah, we've shared the idea with visually impaired individuals, and they've loved it. They believe that if this could be a real product, they would love to use it. Yeah, and the CNIB as well. We worked with specialists as well as coordinators in the organization, and specialists that work with visually impaired people on a daily basis also believed in the idea.
Go to your neighbor, Microsoft Foundation, get more funding.
Thank you. Wait. Thank you, everyone.